What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers got the first win of the NBA season and are now 1-1 after beating the Phoenix Suns. And it's great because we didn't have to wait till the middle of the year or whatever just to get to 500. And hopefully this is the beginning of that momentum in which we can start rattling off some wins here, right? We got a tough back-to-back coming up with Sacramento in Sacramento, and then we got the Orlando Magic. It'd be nice to get both of those wins on that back-to-back, make this 3-1. Now, obviously, this game didn't go the way we had hoped, right? You would think no Bradley Beal, no Devin Booker. Lakers will win this by 30. But there's a lot that goes into that. This isn't a YMCA team. This is a NBA team with NBA players that are still very good, right? And they still had Kevin Durant, who went off for almost 40. Yeah, he went off for 39 points in 39 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty good. Plus, they have other just really quality, solid guys, and they just out-hustled us, especially early on, right? Lakers start this game. They're cruising. 7-0 run to start the game. It looks exactly the way we thought it would go. And then we just started getting sloppy and allowing them to get all these offensive rebounds. And every time they got an offensive rebound, it led to like a 3. And it was just like you saw Phoenix kind of build that momentum over and over and over again. Then in that third quarter, Kevin Durant just completely took over, and we were playing great defense on him. He was just hitting some incredible shots, but that's Kevin Durant, right? It's what Kevin Durant does. It's what he's always done. It's why he's one of the greatest players we have ever seen pick up the basketball, and one of, if not the greatest scorers we have ever seen, with just his ability to do so much. And it was a grueling grind that, it felt like we shouldn't have had that happen, and it was avoidable. But unfortunately, it's just the way it goes, right? I mean, every year you see teams, that be the Lakers, that be other teams, lose to somebody's bench unit. I mean, Milwaukee did it. Denver did it last year. They lost to was it Utah's bench or whatever with all their starters. It happens. Guys lose to the worst teams in the league. It happens. Again, still NBA players. But we shouldn't be relying on LeBron James to come and save us. I mean, LeBron was absolutely ridiculous down the stretch. LeBron and Anthony Davis were fantastic in that second half. LeBron more so in the fourth quarter. Anthony Davis definitely in that second half. He had 9 points or something like that at halftime, and ended up finishing with 30. Gave you 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 10 of 17 from the field. We'll touch on Anthony Davis here in a moment. But LeBron James with the absolute heroics, near triple-double. It is unbelievable that this guy is still able to do these things at what will soon be 39 years old in year 21. I mean, it's just, I've talked about this, and I truly mean it. I appreciate LeBron James while you have him. Right? However you feel. If you love LeBron, if you hate LeBron, if you're watching this and you love the Lakers, if you're watching this and you hate the Lakers, I don't know why you'd be watching a Laker video if you hate the Lakers, but it happens. Whether you're watching this, enjoy this moment with LeBron James, because we're going to wake up one day and he's not going to be in the league. And the fact that we are seeing this history is just, it's unprecedented, literally. But it's unacceptable, right? We shouldn't have to be relying on LeBron James to save us and have to play him 35 minutes a game for us to just squeak out a win, right? Not even win in a respectable fashion. But in the same breath, it's the second game of the season, right? I talk about this all the time. Don't get too high with the highs. Don't get too low with the lows. Don't get that pendulum swing, right? I do the live streams. I see, we're down 10. Lakers suck. The worst team in the league. NBA hopes are all over. They're already eliminated from the playoffs. All of it. And then we win the game, and it's like, oh, yeah, we're good, right? Like, there were goods in this game. There were bads in this game, right? But to me, this game and the Denver game was rather simple. Hit shots. Right? Like, we're just not hitting shots. Again, shot 43% from the field, 17% from 3. It's not going to get it done. Right? And I know some people think, if Phoenix had Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, that we would have gotten blown out and this game would have been just hard to watch. Who knows, right? Because look, if Bradley Beal and Devin Booker play, this game goes completely different. The Lakers' execution on both sides of the basketball is probably very different. Kevin Durant probably doesn't go off for 40 points, right? And it doesn't mean that Devin Booker would have, but he might have not either. So just because Bradley Beal and Devin Booker were in this game doesn't mean that it would have went the way that it went, right? I mean, the Lakers still very well could have won that game. It's unfortunate. I wanted to see a fully healthy Phoenix Suns team, because if we did get blown out, then I want to see what that looks like. I want to see what were the problems. Was it the same way as it was with this Phoenix game where we just couldn't hit shots? Or was it just they were that much better than us, right? Like, I want a good grasp on what to expect with this team, right? And I just feel like Denver, to me, that game boiled down to just lack of shot making. Like, literally, you look at all of the stats, you look at everything. They were identical. They both had 11 turnovers. They both shot 75% from the free throw line. They both had, similar assists, similar everything. It was just the field goal percentage, right? Like, that's literally what it was. Lakers shot 90 field goals. Denver shot 91. And they shot 52% or whatever from the field. And Lakers shot 45%. Like, that was literally the difference. Lakers not hitting shots. And it was the same story, same song and dance this game. Luckily, LeBron James was able to squeak out a win for us. But again, we got to start hitting some shots. Anyway, Anthony Davis was very pedestrian in the first half. Like, it was a little concerning. It's like, dude, what is going on here? Right? Like, Phoenix has nobody that can stop you. Literally, nobody. Right? And we saw Anthony Davis and LeBron James basically score at will when in the second half and when they had the basketball. But it was just like Anthony Davis was non-existent in the first half. And it's like, dude, we need you right now. But luckily, Anthony Davis picked it up, right? We need to see a little more consistent. Like, we need this Anthony Davis, 30 points, 12 rebound type Anthony Davis. If we get this on a regular basis, Lakers will be pretty good, right? And also, like, if I had to choose a half, because now we saw Anthony Davis have 17 in the first half in the Denver game and go scoreless in the second half. And then we saw Anthony Davis put up 9 or whatever in the first half and then go off and finish the game with 30. I would rather that, right? I'd rather Anthony Davis show up big in the second half than in the first half if I had to choose a half. But I'd like some more consistency, right? I'd like, if Anthony Davis gives us 30, right? Give us 12 in the first half, 18 in the second half, or vice versa, 18 in the first half, 12 in the second half, something along those lines to where it's just consistency throughout the course of the game. But regardless, if we get this level of Anthony Davis, is good. Anthony Davis looks spry out there when he is engaged and he is doing what we need him to do. He had 3 steals, 3 blocks. He's still the defensive monster that he is. He still very likely might win the rebounding title again this year, right? Like, when he's on, he's great. And a lot of it was just his shot was short in the first half. He had a lot of really good looks and a lot of shots that are usually the gimme shots for him, and they just were not falling this game. And it just kind of was for everybody. He did hit another 3, which is good, right? He's averaging about 2 threes per game, which I am totally okay with. I know some people don't want him taking any threes. You need him to shoot some threes, especially if you want him to play the power forward, which a lot of people want him to. He can't play the power forward unless he's able to knock down a 3 or so a game, right? Because he's going to have to take that shot relative consistency. So it's nice to see him knocking down that 3 ball. But we need this Anthony Davis. Not necessarily he has to score 30 a game, but he needs to be in that 26 to 28 range this season at least, right? If we have him then that takes a lot of pressure off of LeBron. LeBron's gone back-to-back 21-point games. One game we lost, one game we won. But we can't be relying on LeBron James to do everything, right? Anthony Davis has got to handle a lot of that workload, and other guys need to step up, right? Seriously, I mean, there's no reason that Anthony Davis and LeBron James, with all of this depth, all of this talent, all of this versatility, that LeBron James and Anthony Davis are basically hand carrying the entire workload and scoring more than half of the points. Right? That shouldn't be happening, right? Like, if Anthony Davis and LeBron James go off for 51 points, we should be scoring 115 to 120 because everyone else is chipping in and doing what they need to do. Right? I'm not saying we have to shoot 50% from the field every game or 50% from three every game, but we got to be better, right? And it's just like we're getting the looks, just not hitting the shots is what it's kind of boiling down to here. But Christian Wood, I want to touch on him. Now, if you just looked at his stats, you would think like, okay, he wasn't that great, right? 7 points, 2 of 7 from the field, 10 rebounds, 1 assist. Like, okay, he was okay. No, he was fantastic. Christian Wood saved the Lakers this game. I mean, LeBron closed it, and LeBron, took over late. Christian Wood was the unsung hero. His defense on Kevin Durant was remarkable. And I preached all offseason even before we got Christian Wood. I talked about his defense and his defense out on the perimeter and defending guys like a Kevin Durant. I even said in my breakdown video before the game, I said that I wouldn't mind Christian Wood getting some time defending Kevin Durant. And a lot of people said, oh, he's trash defensively, blah, blah, blah. He hasn't been so far. He's been buying on the defensive side. Again, if you're expecting Christian Wood to be Anthony Davis on the defensive side, then you're going to be disappointed because there's nobody else in the league like Anthony Davis. You look at Denver, where a lot of his big defensive, like Denver and Houston, is where he got the stigma of like, oh, he's not a good defender. But if you actually watched him in Houston and Denver, or Houston and Dallas, right, he was a good defender. They just wanted him and needed him to be Anthony Davis, right? Like when you're good defensively, then Christian Wood is going to be good defensively because he's really good at holding his own on the defense side of the basketball. But when you're terrible defensively and he's your last line of defense, you're probably going to be pretty bad defensively and he's going to have to look bad because he's constantly having to make up for everyone else. Dallas was terrible defensively. Terrible. And they seem to be terrible this year too, from what we saw, right? And they expected Christian Wood to basically be their main defensive deterrent down at the rim. If that's the case, and he's constantly having to watch and defend multiple guys, he's not that guy. He's a decent perimeter defender. He can defend out on the perimeter. He's, a great blindside help defender. He's got good size, good length. He knows how to defend and use that size and length to just disrupt out on the perimeter. Like, that's what you need to do with Christian Wood. I've even talked about putting him at the 3 in spots, in certain matchups and stuff. And you could easily do that, right? Like, he's got good size and good length and can disrupt. And his ability to stretch the floor and stuff is very valuable. I mean, he hasn't been hitting threes, but you got to imagine, been 38% for his career, that it's at some point going to start falling. And nobody's really knocking down shots. But shooting can be contagious, right? So guys will, once the ball starts getting into the hoop, you'll start seeing it more and more, and guys will start trickling it, or at least I expect that. But Christian Wood, I mean, this dude was A1. A1. I mean, his defense on Kevin Durant, because again, you're never going to stop KD. Like, Cam Reddish did an excellent job on KD. But KD, again, was just hitting ridiculous shots. Cam Reddish was doing about as good of a job as you could defensively. It's just better offense. Kevin Durant, right? But Christian Wood, with his size and his length and stuff, he was able to just really kind of bother Kevin Durant when he was trying to take shots. And it really impacted the game mightily. But, it's we got to start picking it up here, right? The schedule doesn't really get easier. It's nice that we got that win. We played arguably the 2 best teams in the Western Conference and 2 of the 5 best teams in the entire league. And we walked out of there 1-1, right? I'll take a win. A win is a win. Whether we win by 5 or we win by 50, it's still a win. It still is the same result in the win column. This isn't a sport where, style points count. This isn't college football where, it's rewarded for you to beat a team by 50, right? No, it doesn't matter, right? It just, the win, whether you win by 1 or you win by 100, it's the same points. It's just a W in the win column. So I'll take this. Was it sloppy? Sure. Is it something that I hope doesn't become a trend? Absolutely. But let's take this win in stride. It's good to see LeBron James looking spry, looking good, being able to just take it to the basket whenever he feels like it. His 3-point shooting is still an issue, which is just it's frustrating. And there is still the concerns of like every time he hits a 3, it's like like 2 more are coming. But I'm not gonna knock LeBron. I mean, he was great on both sides of the basketball, really making an impact, and he just needs guys to start stepping up. This team is built for LeBron James. The minute restriction thing, even, right? Like, he shouldn't have to play 30. Like, the minute restriction should be a thing. I know people don't want it, but it should be. But you need guys to step up. We can't be a minus 14 every game when LeBron is out. We have to be better. We have too much talent on this roster to not be better. But I'll take the win. I'm glad for the win. I'm thankful for the win. And let's use this as the building block and go rattle off a couple more wins. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What'd you think? How'd you feel about this win? Are you happy about the win? Are you disappointed about the win? Would you have liked a better fashion? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.